Bună dimineața. I will speak in English, of course, because I want to speak freely. I want to thank you, Tova, Ionut, for inviting me. This has been an amazing event. Yesterday was absolutely thrilling for me. The work that has been done in the preparations for the mock trial of Ernst Rudin and the performance were absolutely amazing. Really, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I think it's a common sense of everybody. This is a unique experience. I want to speak a little bit about diplomacy because diplomacy has changed a lot. In the last, few centuries back, there wasn't much connection between countries and between people, and the diplomat was the one who was basically having a monopoly on the communications between societies and countries. So sometimes the messenger, the diplomat, delivered the message. When the other country didn't like the message, sometimes they killed the messenger. It was pretty dangerous business, but since then things have changed. And in today's world, actually in the globalization world, the question is, do we need diplomats at all? Because everybody can communicate, right? Tova can go to New York to have a mock trial in New York. She can send people to Weizmann Institute, and every one of you is free to travel. Every agency, every government agency, every company, they have their own international relations. So the question is, why do you need diplomats? We had a famous Israeli Minister of Finance that said, well, why should I finance the foreign ministry? If I want to communicate, I send an email. So the question is really, is it still relevant? And the answer, of course, I'm a diplomat, how can I say it differently, is it is very relevant. And why is that? Because as diplomats, we have opportunities that other people don't have. The first and foremost privilege is the fact that as a diplomat, you meet with different echelons of society. If you take yourself, for example, as a student in a school, you know your teachers, you know your family, you know your social environment, but your access to other parts of Romanian society is pretty limited, right? And for me as a diplomat serving this country, I can meet with different counties, I can meet with the government, I can meet with businessmen. At the end of the day, I can learn a lot about what's happening in the country and get conclusions about what plan can I devise in order to advance the interests of my country and the relations between Israel and Romania. Another thing that I have, the fact that the digital world is giving me a huge opportunity to involve people in my activity. Because in the past, I would do many things, but nobody knew about it unless some reporter decided that he wants to cooperate with me. But today, I can work and I can give the public knowledge about what I'm doing in a very vast way and involve people from all over the country because everybody is connected to the internet. So digital diplomacy has become very important. Another thing that diplomacy is very important for is the issue of arranging the relations, so trying to improve relations not only between countries, but in different realms. For example, if we want to talk about the way the internet is being dealt with all around the world, there is an international organization that is dealing with that and is bringing diplomats and representatives of government and private sector to talk about how we can expand the platforms, how can we take out hate speech from platforms, etc. So as much as the interactions between different international players grow, there is more role for diplomats to engage in trying to make this globalization better and to serve humanity in a better world, in a better way. If we want to improve environment, we have to get agreements in order to, for example, serve the environment in different ways to reduce CO2, we want to reduce carbons, we want to protect water resources. All these things require, of course, interaction. So in order to give you an example of what I am doing, I will shortly tell you what I did since I arrived here 8 months ago. And with that, I will end. It was very important to me, not only to continue what my predecessors did, but to learn what can be a concrete agenda for me. So what I did in the first few months of since my arrival, I interviewed people. I met with the government, I met with private sector, and I met with a lot of people that are doing the relations on a day-to-day basis. And I got to the conclusion that if I want to have an added value as an ambassador, I have to concentrate on projects that have a transformative effect. And what do I mean by that? For example, yesterday, the day before yesterday, we had a meeting at the Prime Minister's office because the government of Romania wants to deal with water scarcity, especially in the south, as a result of the droughts. And Israel has a unique advantage in dealing with water problems, because in Israel we have a huge problem of water and we managed to overcome it by using different kinds of technology. So I got to the conclusion that by doing this cooperation, we can introduce into Romania something that it doesn't have, for example, usage of purified water for agriculture. Okay? So this can be something that changes Romania, that changes how Europe handles with a problem. So this is one example. Another example is that I found out that in Romania there is a very vibrant high-tech community, a lot of startups. However, the problem that the startups have is that once they get to a certain stage, they have a huge problem to scaling up to a global level. And that's why only one Romanian company managed to become a unicorn, a company that is worth more than $1 billion and is traded in NASDAQ, etc. So the question is how we can help doing that. So because of the fact that in Israel we had that challenge a few years back, we have companies that specialize exactly in that. So we have brought venture capital company into Romania, and they are going to help us in creating this opportunity that will be also very good for Israel and will allow startups to grow, to scale up in Romania. Another field, I have many fields, but I have limited time, so I'll give another example, just one example. There is, here in Romania, in Israel, we have a problem that our population is growing very fast, and they don't have anywhere in Israel to go on vacation to. So they have at least twice a year, they have to leave the country if they want to have a decent vacation. And they are looking for places to go. Here in Romania, the government is interested in expanding the income from tourists that are coming from abroad. And we have a special situation between Israel and Romania because we have a common heritage. We have a Jewish community, a huge Jewish community that lived here, and many Israelis from Romanian origin that are curious about the heritage of Romanians here in this country. So we are coalescing together with the Federation of Jewish Communities and with the Ministry of Tourism to try to renovate all these places, synagogues, cemeteries, and other, and research about prominent Jewish figures here in Romania. So when Israelis come to Romania, in addition of enjoying nature and enjoying all the good things that Romania has to offer, they can also visit these places. And in this way, we can deepen our people-to-people contacts and the bonds between Romania and Israel. So in every situation you will face in the future, either if you are a diplomat or are not a diplomat, or you represent any company, you want to engage in international activity, it is very important at the first stage to do a study and to understand what are not only the fields in which you can cooperate, which are the fields that are going to transform and to give a significant added value to your work. And in this way, I think diplomacy can make its impact in the world. Thank you very much.